Hey everyone, and welcome to Sales in Minutes. I'm Bira, and in this show, we invite sales professionals to share their best hands-on tips and step-by-step strategies on everyday sales challenges. Each episode is about 10 to 15 minutes and packed with ideas that you can start using right away. All right, we're back again with Fredrik Hellstrand, sales coach at Advisor Partners. So I was thinking like more in this episode, we're diving into another big one. It's the one where you as a sales rep have to manage multiple stakeholders.
Yeah.
Involved in the decision and also in the different steps and parts of your process. If you missed the last episode, Fredrik shared some great insights on handling objections. I mean, he spent several years as a sales coach, coaching different types of companies. Basically, every company that has some sort of sales department could be able to hire and get coached by Fredrik. So, okay, how do we manage like understanding the different stakeholders, who they are, even if they're like in the background, you don't even know who they are, if they are in the process or not.
Yeah.
How do you pinpoint them and how do you find them?
Yeah. I mean, a very important area that every sales rep needs to handle and figure out, especially in consultative sales. First of all, one of the things that we often see and what we need to basically fix and implement in companies is that they lack having a sales process. So what that means is that you have a method from first contact to closing, steps that you follow to give yourself the best possible odds of getting a yes, which is the absolutely best thing, or next best thing is a no. Once you have a sales process, within that process, there's an area that we call qualification. And one of the qualifications that you need to manage is obviously stakeholders. This is what you need to figure out during the sales process. It's not something that should come up from nowhere after 2 or 3 meetings. That is something that you already in basically the first meeting should have qualified. And there's 3 different things you need to handle during the decision process, as we called it. So decision process is how are they making this type of decisions? How have they been doing it before? You need to ask questions like, how do they handle the decision making at this typical company? That's the first one. The second one is who is involved in the decision making. Is it the CEO? Is it the CFO? Is it several people or is it just one? Another good question that's a little bit more laid back is like, Bira, it's not uncommon that there's also like several people that are involved in this type of decisions when we offer this type of service. Like, is it the same in your company?
Yeah. But how do you manage the cases where you don't want this to become too big either?
No.
So sometimes you just want to keep it small, just to make sure that you get the foot in. So maybe you want to start with one department. Maybe you just don't want to involve everybody.
No, absolutely. I mean, but that's not a bad way to think about it. But also, in the end of the day, if there are more people involved or should be more people involved, you need to take responsibility for those persons.
Yeah.
So first of all, what we recommend is, let's say that you have a first meeting with the person you're calling that is in charge of what you're offering. In that meeting, you need to get their interest, of course, but for the next meeting, if there are several stakeholders involved, you need to include those people. Because in the end of the day, even if you want to keep it small and so on, if you don't include those people, the person who is going to sell this idea or service to the other persons will not be able to do it in the same way that you could do it.
The pitch will be theirs and not mine.
Exactly. So what we first recommend is that you need to include those people until the next meeting.
Yeah.
And here also you need to make sure that you don't go too fast in the sales process. I've done this several times, that I've been in a room with one person, and then they include the CEO or someone else with decision-making power. And what I do, and what I've done, the mistake I've done several times, I take for granted that they already are informed about our services and so on. So I pitch the proposal. But it's too soon, because they haven't got any trust for me, they haven't even got any trust for the company. So I've done that type of mistake. So what you need to understand that is not to go too fast. So if there's new persons coming in the sales process and dialogue, you need to do the pitch again to get their trust.
And also one other thing I can think of, like, it's not a bad thing to repeat what you've said to the stakeholder that is in the meeting, that has already seen the pitch.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. Nothing bad will come out of that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, but not uncommon either that the person maybe says like, no, I can't involve those type of people. They're too busy and so on. So what do you do then? What you need to do is that you need to make sure that the person that you are sitting with is your so-called champion.
Yeah.
And what that means is that you cannot let this person out of the room if you're not sure that this person is convinced and ready to buy from you.
So how do you make a person a champion?
I mean, you make sure that they both like you, like the company that you're representing, and also the product.
Yeah.
And how? I mean, you ask questions.
Yeah.
So, Bita, I understand that you need to talk to your colleagues and so on, but if you just forget them for a second and this decision was up to you, would you like to do this?
Yeah. Oh, good question.
Yeah, so it's not more complicated than that. And if they say like, no, I'm not sure, etc. So okay, we need to rewind and see what you've missed in your presentation or in your proposal and so on.
Yeah.
But let's say that then you have the scenario that says, I think this is a good idea. I think your product would actually benefits us and so on. Okay, great. Thank you for that, Bita. So when you are speaking to your colleagues, what do you think they will say about this proposal or this suggestion? So what you're doing now is you're making sure that whatever comes up in that room, in that conversation, you and her or you and him, you collaborate. So you're a team. The way you need to see this is like, how can you and me collaborate together so we can get the other ones to buy in on this proposal or this services that we are talking about.
Yeah, that's really good to get your stakeholder, your champion, ambassador, whatever you want to call it, like aboard.
Yeah.
Understanding, I mean, that person is more knowledgeable about their own situation, obviously, than you are as a sales rep. So you're just like, yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
Yeah. So to summarize, one, make sure that you actually have a sales process.
Yeah.
Within that sales process, you need to qualify stakeholders. One, how do they make the decision? Two, which people are included in that decision? And actually three that we didn't come to is there any people that doesn't have the decision power but can influence the decision? Okay. So three things. Scenario, there are several people within the decision making. Good. We need to include them in here. Not like, would it be okay if they could be included? No. Okay, great. So what we make sure is that every person that is included in the decision making needs to join the process. And that is basically to ensure that we can offer the right type of service for you. Because, I mean, this is an important decision for you. So let's have another meeting. Let's set up another meeting. We'll include those people. We'll invite them to the meeting. and making sure that we can have their highest interest as well.
So what if like the response there would be very vague? Because that happens as well. I mean, you find a person who likes your product.
Yeah.
You ask them, so what do you think, what's the next step internally on your end? So he's or she will most probably say something like, yeah, I'm gonna present this to the team meetings that we have once a month. Do you have a presentation that you can send? That happens.
And I would say, not to be too harsh, but that is just exactly the problem. So what you said there is that you are giving away the mandate or the control to the client. You're in charge of the next step. Not the way that the client feels like they're
Undermined.
Undermined. Not that. It's just like, okay, so next step for us to go forward is this and this and this and that.
Yeah.
No one is gonna say like something like, "No, I don't like that type of suggestion," and so on. Like, it's just, I mean, this is how our process like goes. You need to own that responsibility and take the client's hand and like together go through the process.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, one way of handling that could be perhaps to like pretty early on or right before, like right after the presentation or the like main pitch.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just walk through the process that we normally go through. Like these are the steps we take in order to get to like the finish line.
Yeah. It's not that you're controlling the client. It's just like you need to take ownership of the process because the client wants to have a guidance to the decision making.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Of course, I think it's like it scares people sometimes because I mean, obviously you're just a sales rep, but again, nobody knows the product and the processes like more than you. So yeah, I think it's good to keep in mind to take control of the entire process from start to finish. All right, one last question in regard to this topic. How can you keep up the momentum in a deal when like a decision is being made by a whole group? Like let's say it's the entire team or all the C-levels are involved somehow. How do you keep up the momentum here?
Always having an agreement of the next step. Never, ever leave a conversation without an agreement of the next step. An agreement of the next step isn't, I'll call you next week.
Yeah.
A real agreement of the next step is, okay, what about we're setting up a meeting already next week when we include and involve these other persons? What about Wednesday or Thursday?
What if they don't accept the invitation? Because it's reality. It happens, obviously.
Yeah, but then you need to do it with a month of confidence as well. Like this is the process that we follow.
Yeah.
Next step is that we have another meeting. We include the other people that have interested in this. So what do you think? Like Wednesday or Thursday next week, and then send an invitation in sitting meeting. But it's not like, okay, great, nice to hear that you're interested. I understand that you need to speak with several other persons. And when can you do that? Oh, maybe next week. Okay, great. Then I'll call you next week, okay? Yeah. And that's it. What happens when you call her or he next week?
They're not going to be
answering, right?
Yeah. No, but I'm with you on all of these things. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but you forget. And the reason you not forget, but it happens when everything is going so well. Then you start to not being so, how do you say?
It's easy to lose your focus and your
process because you're getting too comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You have a good chat. The talk is well. I mean, everything is like a good flow in the discussions. And then you're like, yeah, I'll call him. He'll most probably answer. No.
Thousands of times. And
that's when I start texting and sending my clients memes.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know the Pablo Escobar meme. He's sitting on a bench, like waiting.
Yeah.
I've sent that a couple of times.
I actually have one where I send a picture when that happens. I don't know if I can film it, but I just send a picture when I'm waiting for you to call. This is the picture I'm showing them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that could happen too. But okay, yeah. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Thank you so much,
No
Fredrik,
problem.
for
No problem. My
giving us
pleasure.
some like good tips and tricks on how to handle stuff.